Hello! Welcome back to another minifigure video. This one's going to be relatively short because it's only the one, even though we got some good detail in there. So we are making Korra from The Legend of Korra to go with our United Forces battleship. We'll be making some more, but this is the first one. And yeah, she's pretty, okay, first of all, Korra is one of my favorite characters ever in anything. I think she's honestly beaten only by Ahsoka from Star Wars, which is high praise for sure. So I'm very excited to make a minifigure version of her. She's not the first one I've made, but this one's a lot better. So yeah, she's pretty simple for her torso. It's she's just wearing a slim body fitting shirt, top. Yeah, it's more of a top that kind of tapers a little bit towards the neck. And that's about it. And she has the little a little collar sort of thing, or indent for her collar, which I'm doing right now. And that's about it for the torso. The real detail is really in the leg areas, because she has the fur that's tied around her waist and all of that detailing. So we're pretty much just about finished with the torso. I'm adding in her little collarbones and just positioning those right. We'll mess with them a little bit. That's about it for her torso. It's really nothing too fancy. Yeah, I think I play with the colors a little bit, but what I had I think I really liked a lot, so I go back to that. And we'll do her back, torso, which is really just more... I think these would be... they're more back detailing. They're not really her collarbone or anything like that. So I guess just putting the back detailing in there, messing around with its placement. And yeah, that's about it. Making these a little smaller. That's what that is. And we're going to do her arms next, which are also nothing too fancy. She just has little bands around her wrists and on I think it's the right arm, if I'm getting my minifigure directions right. She just has this band up top around, I don't know what that would be called right now. Don't ask me to name things. She just has this band with a little water tribe detailing on it. Yeah. So yeah, she's honestly I think she's one of the best characters in fiction. Specifically as we get into season 3 and 4, especially. Season 4 is where a ton of her character growth happens, which is set into motion by events in season 3, with Zahir and everything. And it's not exactly what's happening, but it's really a metaphor or analog or something like that for mental health issues. And it's really cool to see her struggle. It's not cool to see her struggle with that, but from in the knowledge that she's a fictional character, it's really cool to see those struggles and be able to relate to them in a lot of ways for a lot of people. So I really love seeing that side of her. And overall, she's just a really strong female character, which I always love to see. And yeah, she's just great, honestly. I know a lot of people didn't like her at first, especially, but how can you watch season 4 and not like her? Even though she's a strong character in season 4, she really learns to empathize with specifically her enemies a lot more and recognize that she can learn from them rather than just being, I guess, afraid of them deep down, or instead of just being enemies that she has to fight, they have points a lot of the times, which is another thing I love about the series in general, is that the enemies she faces have points. They just take it to extremes. Amon with the Equalist. I would argue for sure that equality is a pretty good thing, even though Amon took it to the extreme, and rather than fighting for like equality in general, he fought to literally make everybody equal in every way, which is not what we want, because we want diversity. Diversity is good, but so is like everybody having the fair chance. So he had a point, but he took it to an extreme, which is what Korra learned from him. In the end, after Toph kind of beat it into her, spoilers, I guess. I mean, honestly, if you haven't seen it by now, you doubt you're going to watch it. So, yeah. Anyway, I really love Korra. It was really fun to recreate her as best as I could. Just all this like stuff on the legs can get a little tricky sometimes, because you have to worry about how it's all going to line up and everything, because they're like, I guess it's only technically 3 different parts, but each one of those parts has like at least 2 sides to it, so you have to make sure everything lines up correctly, which can be a pain sometimes. Yeah, so, and I'm messing around a little bit with the black borders, because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with those, because it was kind of bugging me, because they, like, I don't have any on the torso or the arms, which I think was a good idea, because I don't think that they really fit there, and I think they just would have distracted from what I was doing, but it was then messing with my head, because there's so much black outlining on the legs that it just looked really out of place in comparison. So I end up like going halfway and sort of compromising with the legs and doing a little bit of black detailing around the white fur for her fur wrapped around her, and the like the knot and the ties coming off of it in the middle, and that was just about it, just because I wanted a little bit, especially for like the ties, because that was the only way to make those work, but I just kind of got rid of them for everything else. And don't worry, her eyes look really weird right now, and I didn't realize that. They're gonna look even weirder by the time I'm done with them, honestly. But I didn't realize that until like after I came back to do the render and everything, how weird they looked. Like, they look really alien when I end up like finishing them. So I fixed those before the final render, don't worry. And I'm using the face I made for a future minifigure, which hasn't yet been released, so I won't spoil that, but just kind of as a basis, since I'd already done that one and figured that one out. Yeah, and I struggled a lot with her face specifically. Yeah, her eyes are starting to get weird. I know, it looks bad now that I'm looking at it. But I struggled with making her face look like her, and I think the eyes were a big part of it. But a lot of, she just, part of the problem is that Korra does not wear makeup at all. Like, that's strictly against, like, her character in a lot of ways. So it would be wrong and, like, out of character and look weird to put, like, the lipstick on her, like most female minifigures have in LEGO. But without that, it's kind of hard. She also kind of looks weird, because that's what you expect on a, like, female minifigure from LEGO. You expect them to have the lipstick and everything. So, I'm gonna mess with it again. I don't remember if I recorded it or not, but I basically, like, pulled up a reference image from season 4 that worked really well, and I just kind of based off that, and ends up looking so much better than what we have right now. But for now, we're going to finish up the legs, doing the sides of them, making sure that all lines up. And yeah, not too much, like, really, just kind of trying to match the fur patterns that you see on the character model I'm referencing right there. But you really don't have to get too exact, because, like, just because, it's an animation, so it's going to change a lot in the source material itself, from, like, frame to frame. Oh yeah, there we are, we're going to rework the face. So I'm just trying to match, and I do like specifically when I fix the eyes and everything, I mess with the eyebrows a bit too when I'm making the final renders. But yeah, and also if you notice, I'm not just copying the eyebrows over, and that's because, as a lot of people say, in especially like makeup stuff, eyebrows should be sisters and not twins. Like nobody's face is symmetrical, especially with eyebrows. So it looks weird if you make them symmetrical. Like, it's okay for them to be a little different. So that's something that I really want to pull through with my like minifigure stuff, is to stay true to that, because I think it helps a lot in making their faces look more dynamic and less stale. So yeah. And just giving her the little thing under her chin that I don't know the name of because I haven't bothered looking it up yet. I see her eyes are just getting weirder. I was trying to like emulate the shape of her eyes in the series. Didn't work. So yeah, I fixed them. They look a lot better. I love this render. I think it looks amazing, personally. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but yeah. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you want to see more. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.